Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. My name is Shel Redfern, and I am the spiritual director here. I am so happy you've decided to join us this morning. Our theme for today is the Tao of Freedom. So that's what all of our meditation and reading and talk, some music is all going to be about today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday morning meditation with Centers for Spiritual Living. My name is Linda Lloyd. I'm a practitioner here at the center, and I am so very grateful for this beautiful day and for these precious moments to sit in the stillness together. This time of meditation is a very important time. Very important for our spiritual practice. For it's a time we get to reset, reboot, and if we're starting our day, a great time to anchor in spirit and the truth. Because we all know there are some crazy things going on in the world these days, and this time, right here, right now, as one of my teachers calls it, bum on cushion, is a time for us to commune with spirit, to get out of our heads, this beautiful intellect that we have. We spend so much time up in our heads as human beings that this practice of meditation, the state of meditation, or meditation is not actually a doingness. It's practicing just being and coming home. So that's what we're going to do right now, okay? So come on in. So find yourself a place where you can sit with your back straight and be still for the next few moments as I'm going to guide you on a little centering guided meditation. So ever so slowly and gently, we begin to close our eyes. And just becoming still. Bringing our awareness inward to our inner sanctuary. As we become fully present to the presence, this beautiful breath of life that is breathing us. And we'll spend some time taking in some conscious breaths. Just allowing to breathe in this breath of life, and allowing it to fill us as if filling a balloon, just filling us with this spirit energy. Just taking that in, and on the out breath, letting go of any stagnant energy, anything that is no longer serving us. Any worries, doubts, fears, anxieties. Just releasing it with the breath. And breathing in spirit. Revitalization. Inspiration. Fresh new thoughts. Fresh, clean energy. And breathing out the old, releasing whatever you're ready to let go of. And just anchoring in this time and space called now. Just breathing. Consciously moving out of the head, down into the heart. And opening up the shutters of the heart. Just allowing every breath of energy to enter the heart space and fill it up with new revitalizing energy. breath by breath. Letting go of everything that came before this moment. All anticipation of future moments. Just allowing ourselves to abide, to rest in this energy of life. This energy that is also love, peace, beauty, joy. Just allowing it to bring balance and order and harmony to this body temple, to our busy minds. And just allowing whatever thoughts want to come up. We're not trying to resist or stop or change anything. Just practicing allowing, letting, just being in love. In peace. In joy. Breathing in spirit consciously. Allowing it to fill us up with that love energy, that sacred vibration of life. Never so slowly and gently, bringing your awareness back to the room, to the place you're sitting, and perhaps bringing back with you the intention to visit this place, this space of peace and love, beauty and joy, again soon. So ever so slowly and gently, allow the eyes to open. So now that our hearts are wide open and available, our minds clear and refreshed, our bodies revitalized, we are ready for the day and ready to absorb this message, the rest of this service. So thank you for joining me. Namaste, peace, and infinite blessings. Have a great day.
Good morning. There is a power, a force in the universe that is greater than us. And we can work with this power, this force, and create lives that are happier, healthier, more peaceful, and more content. Good morning and welcome to this Sunday's presentation from the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend David Renee Jennings, Associate Minister here.
And I'm Vicki Jennings. It's so good to have you with us here today.
We are both so very happy that you've chosen to spend quality time this morning with your spiritual family. Welcome home.
Yes, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we're glad you've chosen to join us today.
And you are very welcome here, indeed. So as we begin our time together, we like to start with a blessing. This blessing is for your benefit, our spiritual community, and the world at large. It goes like this. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are grateful for you. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned for an empowering, inspiring message from Reverend Shel Redfern.
And don't forget to check us out on the different avenues online. We have Facebook, YouTube, and our website. So please find us there. You'll find all kinds of things that we're doing online. And we would love to continue to join up with you and meet with you your spiritual home.
We can't wait to be with you in person at the Center for Spiritual Living. But till then, we'll keep meeting like this. Have a great day. Enjoy this presentation. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you back here next weekend.
Mwah.
Stay happy. Stay healthy. Bye now.
Bye.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I said my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I said my soul, oh, is welcome. My soul is welcome. I said my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Hello, my name is Ron Frost, and I'm a recent graduate of the practitioner program here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. And today I'm going to be doing the reading and prayer. And since July is the month of freedom, I figured I would talk on a subject relative to our fears, worries, and doubts, and how we can release them and live a more fearless life. So I found an article within the Science of Mind magazine, 2019, the June edition, written by Trish Hall. And I think you'll feel that these words, they really resonate with me, and I'm sure they will resonate with you on how we can live a more fearless life. It's from page 84, and it's a section called Imagine a Fearless Life. Unshackled, you are free to fully express your uniqueness, creativity, and boundlessness. Imagine a life without fear, doubt, or the resulting hesitancy. What if you've been letting fear stifle your radiance? How would you be if you fully embraced the truth of your being, that you are an individualization of spirit? You would have nothing to fear. You would be unstoppable. If you felt a glint of fear, it would be just a reminder of how deeply rooted our fear habits can be. And she goes on with 3 questions. Number 1, ask yourself, Am I allowing circumstance to control my experience of life, or am I exercising my power to control my experience of circumstance? Question number 2. Am I listening to the chaotic outer din, or am I gleaning from the divine within me? And question number 3. Am I reacting to my fears, or am I responding with that calm assurance using my inner wisdom? She goes on to say, divine guidance is never taught to us, it is evoked from within. We cannot force it or reason it into our existence. It simply is made known to us when we stop long enough to be still and know. When we stop long enough to be still and know. Powerful words. Let's take this into prayer. So despite the feeling of fear, or feeling of uncertainty or doubt or worry, I know there's one truth in this entire universe, and that is God is all there is. Whether we call it source creator or the divine infinite light, or simply call it God, we know it is the expression of freedom, free will, freedom to create infinite possibilities. It is love. It is that expression of faith, of that conscious knowingness that only good is unfolding. Only good is unfolding. And it is with this truth of conscious freedom that I know that I am that which is God. That thing that I know is the divine freedom of the universe, that thing that I know is God, that creates all things, it also creates me. It is me. It's my very expression of my voice at this now moment. And I know this same truth for every single individual tuning in at this now moment, for every single being, that this is the essence of themselves. This is the divine creation that lives within them, that they are a child of God. So with that, I state these truths, that there is an infinite expression of love, joy, happiness, peace, and abundance, and freedom that is happening right here and right now. It's happening for every individual that is listening at this now moment. It's happening for every individual. It's happening for the human collective. That there is an expansion of infinite love. That there is this free sense of being able to exist without fear, worry, or doubt. To be free in creativity, free in our physical expression, our spiritual expression, our individualized expression. Freedom of choice. Freedom of will. So it's these truths that I am grateful for, grateful to know that Spirit is always expressing in this sense of expansion, creativity, joy, unboundlessness. And I anchor this prayer into the law of mind, knowing it is fully done, that there is this unbounded sense of freedom that is happening at this now moment. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Hey there. So as I said at the beginning, today's theme is the Tao of Freedom. It's the last in our series of 4 talks around freedom. And I just love Taoism. It's something that I have studied extensively for many, many years. And it just really works hand in hand with what we believe here at the center. It works really well with science of mind. And I get to tell stories, which is like my favorite thing. Taoism is communicated often by way of stories. The book of Tao is a series of just small quotes. And sometimes it can be confusing, sometimes it can be really deep, but they are just wonderful. A book, if you're interested in Taoism, is the Tao of Pooh. And that is just wonderful, wonderful book, because it explains Taoism using Winnie the Pooh, stories around Winnie the Pooh, and he talking to Piglet and Eeyore and whatever to express the different Taoist ideas and themes. So wonderful book if you're interested at all in Taoism. Today, I'm going to tell 3 Taoist stories, convey the lessons and how they're related to this thing called freedom and how they're related to science of mind. Okay, so we're going to start out with a story that's called The Sad Lady. Now, a Taoist master walked into a village and he saw in a corner a woman who was just crying her eyes out. She was just miserable, crying. And he said to one of the villagers, What's wrong with this woman? And they said, well, that's the sad lady. She's always like this. She's always crying like this. And then the Taoist master felt so bad for this woman. He approached her, went to her, knelt down next to her and said, my dear, what is wrong? And she said, well, look at the sky. It's about to rain. And my oldest son, he has a fan business. And so if it's raining, there's nobody coming into his store. You know, his store is in ruins. His life will be in ruins if it keeps on raining and having these cloud-filled days like today. I'm so sad for him. And the Taoist master looked at her and said, well, my dear, bad weather never lasts. Even if he has a short spurt with no business, bad weather never lasts. It'll be okay. And she said, oh, you don't understand. And he said, what do you mean? What don't I understand? And she said, my other son, my youngest son, has an umbrella business. And when it's raining, he does fine. But when it's sunny, oh my gosh, nobody comes into his store. And if it's sunny all the time, he'll be in great ruin. And I just don't know what to do. It's just awful. It's just awful. This one or the other is always in ruin. So the Taoist master thought about it for a while, and indeed, as he was thinking, the clouds unzipped, and a huge rainstorm fell on the village. And the woman was just miserable. Oh, my older son, this is hurting his business so. So he looks at the woman and he says, I tell you what, let's go and visit your youngest son's business. Let's go and do that now. And she said, okay. And so they got up and walked through the village and went to her youngest son's business, the umbrella business. And it was booming. There were people everywhere. There were far more people than he could serve. And she was so excited and so happy watching this bustling business. People were caught unaware. They didn't know it was going to rain, so everybody's coming in and purchasing umbrellas, and it was absolutely wonderful. And they stood there and watched for a while, and as they were watching, the sky started to clear up. And as the sky started to clear up, the people started to come in less and less and less. And eventually the sky cleared completely up, and it became a very steamy day. You know how it is, really sun, and after the rain has fallen, very steamy day. And the wise teacher said to her, bring me to your older son's business now. And so they went to the older son's business. And of course, it was booming because it was hot and he was selling fan after fan after fan. And he couldn't keep up with all of it. And so he said to the woman, and the woman was so happy to see her older son. And she think of her younger son and become sad. And the wise master said to her, listen, here's what I want you to do from now on. If it is rainy, I want you to go and visit your younger son and see the success of his business. And if it is sunny, I want you to go and visit your older son and see the success of his business. And you know what? The woman did that. And she became happy and glowing all the time. And instead of being known as the sad lady, she came to be known as the happy lady. The end. So, what Taoist lessons do we have in that story? Well, one of the most important lines in that story is, bad weather never lasts for very long. Bad weather never lasts for very long. It's here and then it's gone. And so it is with our life. If we're going through a challenging situation, it's not here forever. It's transient. And sometimes it can be a couple days transient, and sometimes it can be a couple weeks transient, but it's never here forever. Bad weather doesn't last forever. And we've got to look forward to the brighter day, right? One of the most important things of that story. A second lesson in that story is it definitely showed us balance, yin and yang, a very, very important Taoist idea. Most people are familiar with the yin and yang symbol, and that yin and yang symbol is a reflection of balance that is always happening in life, in the world, and in this case, the yin and yang of her two sons. They had to have the opposite kind of weather in order to be successful, but since our world is full of opposites, they can both be successful, even if it's in entirely opposite ways. And so it's a reflection of the balance that is inherent in God, in the universe, in the Tao, and that balance is always achieved. And so if we turn to one side or the other, that balance can come out of whack within us, not within the Tao, not within the universe, but within us. And the most important lesson, of course, is that balance is retained or maintained by where we focus our attention. The woman, nothing changed, really, nothing changed. The weather was, her two sons had the different businesses, that nothing changed. But where she focused her attention in the moment changed, and that created her experience of life. So we always get to choose this. We always get to choose this. And so those are the three really important Taoist lessons from that story. And of course, we can see that in our own teaching, right? That we get to choose our perspective. We get to choose our thinking. Our thinking creates our life. Our beliefs will create a filter through which we see the world. She changed her filter out, didn't she? She absolutely just changed her filter out and had a whole different experience of life. And so you can see where the Taoist ideas and the science of mind ideas really work hand in hand, very, very much so. I love this next story. This next story is called The Light Bulb. The Light Bulb. So once upon a time, there was an apprentice and a master craftsman that worked together in a factory. Now, this master craftsman was actually a technician, and he knew the factory inside and out, and he took on the apprentice, and he showed him how to do everything that he was doing. And so they worked in every different part of the factory, and they did a lot of good work. And his advice to the one more time, to the, what is the word? It just went right out of my mind, apprentice. His advice to the apprentice was talk less, do more, and never stop developing the knowledge of every single aspect of this factory. And so the apprentice worked very, very hard doing this and followed the master technician and just learned every aspect of that factory. And so after about 10 years of doing this, the master technician decided to retire. He was older and ready to stop working. And so his position went to the young apprentice, and he became the master technician for the factory. Well, the thing is that he worked really hard. He didn't talk a lot. He made himself very useful, learned every aspect of the factory. But he didn't get a raise when he got the new position, and he didn't get a promotion. In fact, he found people that knew far less than he did and did far less than he did, getting all the promotions. So he went back to the master technician and said, well, why is this happening? And the master technician said, are you sure that you're indispensable? Are you sure that they absolutely need you? And the apprentice said, yes, I'm very sure. I did everything you said. I know every aspect. There's things going on every day that only I know how to fix. And the master technician said, very well. He said, you've been working very, very hard, and it's time for you to take a day off. So what you do is you go back to the factory and you request a day off, a day vacation. They'd be happy to give that to you. And the apprentice said, all right. So he went back to the factory and he requested a day off. And lo and behold, the next day when he got back, they said, oh my gosh, so many things happened while you were gone. Indeed, they had an appreciation for the apprentice now. And they said, you know, we had this go down, we had this go faulty, and only you knew how to fix it. We had no idea how we had taken you for granted. And they gave him a promotion and they gave him a raise. And so he was just delighted with that, absolutely delighted. But after a few, figured out how much they had taken him for granted. Well, the apprentice, well, who's now been promoted a few times, got that this thing really worked. That this idea of taking a day off every here and there so that people would have an appreciation for him, that really worked. So he started to do it whenever he felt unrest. He would go into his manager and say, I need a day off. The manager would give him a day off. He would come back. He'd have a raise and a promotion. He did this several times. Well, after about a year of doing this on and off, one day he took a day off and came back to the factory. He found that his key didn't work in the lock. And when he went to find out what was going on, he found out that he was no longer employed there. He had been fired. And he went back to the master and he said, well, why did I get fired? I did what you said and it was working so well. I don't understand why I suddenly got fired. And the master said, that's because you only heard half of the story. You only heard half of what you were to do, half of the lesson. And the apprentice was so confused. And the master said, well, you left before I told you the whole story. And the apprentice said, well, what's the whole story? And the master said, indeed, people take for granted the light bulb that is always on until it is shut off for a moment. Then they appreciate the light that it's been casting the whole entire time. However, if a light is faulty and keeps going on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, it is easily replaced. Isn't that a great story? Isn't that a great story? I love it. There's so many lessons. The first lesson that they talked about, I was on Taoism.com, I think, or either Taoism.net. Wonderful stories there that I found. The first thing that they talked about was not taking things for granted. It's a lesson for us in not taking things for granted. What is in our sphere right now that is always on, that is always operational, that we might be taking for granted? It could be a person. It could be a situation. What are we taking for granted right now that's in our sphere? What light bulb is always shining that really there would be a place of dark in our life if that light bulb went off? It's a good lesson for us to not take things for granted. The second thing that they teach here is looking at a work-life balance, that we have to have a work-life balance. And in putting everything into that job, the apprentice did not have a work-life balance. It goes back to the yin-yang idea. And the dissatisfaction often comes not from the work, not from what we're doing, not from how we're doing it, but because we don't have a work-life balance. And so that's the second lesson that's in this, that we must have a work-life balance. We must have time off. We must have time that we are being productive in the world. That's part of being here. But we also must have time that's downtime, rest time. Very, 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 very important. And a lot of people, they wrote in this that a lot of people think that Taoism means that there should be no work. And indeed, that's not the case. Work is very honorable. in Taoism. They think it's a very big part of Taoism, but not only work. So gratitude is the underlying thing. Gratitude for people that are in your life, things that are in your life that are working for you. Gratitude for what you bring to life, and then work-life balance, right? Okay. Third story. Third story is called Old Friends. There were 3 very, very busy sages that traveled the whole countryside, but they found time each and every year to get together, to compare notes, to have deep philosophical conversations. These 3 sages really enjoyed each other and really enjoyed their time together. So they did this year after year, year after year after year. And one year they came together and they all seemed to notice that this year it was different. And as they were quietly contemplating, one of the sages said to the other 2, "My friends, I just don't know if we're going to be together again next year. I just don't know if it'll happen. We don't know how the next year will unfold. We're getting older, and it's getting a little bit harder to get around. I don't know if we'll see each other next year." And the second sage said, "My friends, a year is a long time. You're looking way in the future. I don't know if we're going to be together tomorrow. I don't know if each one of us will still be here tomorrow. A year is so long. What about tomorrow? We must be grateful for today, for being here today." And the third one was very, very, very quiet. And the other 2 turned to him. And when he spoke, he said this, "My friends, I don't know if I'll be here to take my next breath. I must be grateful in this moment, for what is here now, for I don't know if I will take another breath." The end. A short story, a very short story, with a great lesson. Now, we tend to, as humans, look at our life, engage the years. Did you notice that? We celebrate birthdays, we celebrate anniversaries. We tend to look at things, engage them by the number of years that have happened during a span of time, you know? It's very easy for us as humans to do that. And I think in doing so, we don't necessarily have gratitude or focus in on or pay attention to the moment, most specifically, or even the days. I think that that's one thing that this pandemic has done to alter us as a humanity, hasn't it? I mean, because we've been on shutdown personally since March, and it feels like it's been years. And really it's been what? March to April to May to June to July, 4 months. It's been 4 months. I don't think I'll ever take being with my friends face to face for granted again. I hope not. I don't think that I'll ever take being in this center with all of you for granted again. Not one day of it, not 1 year of it, not 1 moment of it, because I miss it. And sometimes it is having something taken away that brings us to having appreciation for the moments that are so very, very, very important. Well, even though I'm on this side of the camera and you're on that side of the camera, I appreciate having this moment with you because I can feel you watching. It's why I can still do this in this empty room, because I know that it's not going to be empty forever, and I know we're going to be together again soon. And it gives me faith and it gives me hope. So, of course, the lesson there is not only to have appreciation and gratitude for the moment, but it's also showing the importance of connection. That was part of the lesson here, is showing the importance of connection and having appreciation for the people and the connections that we have in our life. And I think that's especially valuable right now. We may not be able to connect like we did, but we can still connect. And we can share special moments, and we can share special days. We can still do that, even now. And it's most important, even now. to do that, to share those moments, to have those connections, however they may be had. Question on everybody's mind. We have these nice Taoist stories. What would Ernest Holmes say about the Tao of Freedom? Before I go here, let's link all of this together. So what did all of this have to do with freedom? We have the freedom to choose our experience. We are free in every moment, every second, every day. We have the freedom to choose what we think. We have the freedom to choose what we decide. We have the freedom to take the next step. We have the freedom to stay still. We are eternally free. It is our birthright, and it is the way of being, even if we don't feel that way. I know that in this, isn't it interesting? Of course, freedom, they came up undoubtedly because it was Independence Day, July, and we would often talk about freedom, but doesn't it have a whole new meaning this year? It does. It does. And we are still free, my friends. We are still free. Choice is ours. Now, what would Ernest Holmes say? Oops, where are my glasses? We're gonna squint through this and we will be okay, right? It's 24 point, it's not little, we should be okay. Okay, from the Science of Mind text by Ernest Holmes. We do not create laws and principles, but discover and make use of them. I'm going to stop already. Can you believe it? Yes, I'm going to stop already. We do not create laws and principles. They're already in place. That's what Tao is. Tao is a way of walking, a way of being in the world based on the laws and principles. It's why I love Taoism. They say the Tao is. We say in Science of Mind, laws and principles are. They are here. We discover them, we discover the power in knowing them, and then we use them. And we can either do that consciously or unconsciously. This whole study is about using them consciously, because we're using them whether we know it or not. So if we know that we can change our life and use the power that is inherent within these laws and principles, that's what freedom is. The idea of uncovering, discovering, and using these laws and principles. Okay. We do not create laws and principles, but discover and make use of them. Let us accept this position relative to the laws of mind and spirit and see what we can do with them, rather than how we may contradict the inevitable. I like that. Our mind and spirit is our echo of the eternal thing itself. And the sooner we discover this fact, the sooner we shall be made free and happy. I'm going to repeat that, and we're going to talk about it for a second. Our mind and spirit is our echo of the eternal thing itself, of the thing itself. We are God made manifest. We have all the properties that God has. We create what happens here with our thinking, with the way we move forward, with the way we stand still, with the way that we turn our light bulb on and off, right? With the way we choose to see which sun in which weather condition, we create our experience of life all the time, because we are spirit in form. So we're doing exactly what spirit is doing, creating all the time, all the time. Okay. The universe is filled with spirit and is filled with law. One reacts to the other. We are spirit and we are law. The law of our life reacts to our spiritual or material concepts and builds and rebuilds according to our beliefs and faith. We are both law and spirit. We are God made manifest right here and right now, and we are living in a place where laws create what we experience. Cause, effect. Biggest law that we work with, cause, effect. These laws work. We've experienced these laws working. We've experienced these laws working against all odds, and that's what creates our faith. The law of our life reacts to our spiritual or material concepts and builds and rebuilds. We don't have to look to our current conditions for permission. We can rebuild them. Builds and rebuilds according to our beliefs and our faith. I loved doing today's talk. I really did. I love telling stories. And those Taoist stories are just terrific. So I hope that you found one that resonated with you, that you can bring into this week and apply in your life right now. Right now. A different way of seeing life. Right now. How about we take this into prayer? All right. So settling into the right here, right now, knowing together there's one power and presence, one life. We are that life made manifest. We are both as the yin and the yang and the Tao of science of mind. We are spirit made manifest. We are law made manifest. So right now I embrace this truth of who I am and the truth of who each one watching this video is. Each one is spirit, is law, and is consciously co-creating a life of their dreams, starting right now. We turn our attention and awareness to that which is serving us in this life. So be it. Namaste, my friends. Happy Sunday.
Good morning. My name's Kay Atwood, and I'm on the Leadership Council at the Center for Spiritual Living. And it's at this time during the Sunday celebration when we are given the opportunity to donate to the place where we are spiritually fed, the center. And we can do that in many ways. We can text a donation to 239-320-3820, or we can use the donate button on our website, cslcapecoral.org. Use the PayPal option, PayPal@cslcapecoral.org. Mail a check to the Center for Spiritual Living, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral 33990, or use an automatic withdrawal from our checking account. Any way is very much appreciated, and we do give back to the community. We give 5% to the Cape Coral Caring Center, who provides food and financial assistance to people in Cape Coral, and we also give back to our corporate center in Colorado, who provides us with curriculum and other benefits. And now please join me in this affirmation. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of the center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. Thank you.
Every
And now it's time to stand in the light. When we stand in the light, we stand knowing the truth about a situation, what we want to see as an outcome. I am standing in the light for each and every one watching this video, knowing your highest and best is unfolding with great grace, great ease, great poise, great fun, and great joy. So I invite you to write what you're standing in the light for. If you're on Facebook, in the comments, if you're on YouTube, in the comments there, or send us a message, cslcapecoral.org, go to prayer request, and we will pray on it all week with you. All right? So I'm going to speak a short blessing over all the prayers and affirmations that have been spoken here. Let us know together that each and every one of these prayers, these affirmations, has been firmly implanted in mind, because there is only one thing going on. It is power, it is presence, it is mind, it is law. It is you, it is each one on this video. It is right where we are. And the pure perfection of this law, of this mind, of this spirit is being reflected in the experience of each one brought into this sacred circle. For this, I am so very grateful and thankful. And let it be, and so it is. So be it. Hello. 2 announcements today. First one's a biggie. First one's a very big one. Beginning this Wednesday, the 29th, 12 o'clock, midweek tune-up will be held at the center. Here are our jeepers. So, here's the protocol. Okay. Hello. 2 announcements. The first one's a biggie. This coming Wednesday, July 29th at noon, midweek tune-up, we'll meet here at the center. Here's the protocol. Number 1, you must wear a mask. It's not optional. You must wear a mask if you're going to attend midweek tune-up in person. Number 2, when you walk in the building, we will have hand sanitizer available, and we ask, it's push with your foot hand sanitizer. So we ask that you use hand sanitizer on your hands as you come in. You will be directed to a seat here in the sanctuary. If you're coming in as a couple, you can sit together. We have several places where there are 2 chairs together, but otherwise we will be practicing social distancing with the chairs 6 feet apart. We'll just turn them towards each other so that we can see each other and talk. We'll fill the perimeter of the room, and we'll go from there. So very exciting to have it live. We will also have it on Zoom. So if you are not comfortable coming out yet, no worries. I've got a big TV. It'll have a camera. Hopefully it'll pick up the sound real well. We'll test it out this week, see how it goes. And so you can be on Zoom in here as well. So please join us either on Zoom, as we have been meeting, or here in the sanctuary. Mask on, hand sanitizer on the way in. We'll have a basket by the door. You'll go out of the sanctuary door so that we have one stream of traffic through the whole entire center. We're going to see how this works. This is the protocol that we're testing out. And so we will see you in person on Wednesday. Yay. It's a step. It's a step. And then the other announcement is that we do have an accredited class starting August 1st. That is Saturday, August 1st. That is the Power of Your Word. I don't think I said the name of the class last week. Power of Your Word with Barbara Gilfillan. A wonderful, wonderful class. The cost on that is $150. If you're registering at $45 to do that in addition. It's just a terrific class around prayer. Now, if you're on the practitioner path, several people are, this is the next class for you. If you're not on the practitioner path, it doesn't matter. As long as you've had foundations, join Barbara for this very powerful, life-changing class, Saturdays, 11 to 1:30 for 8 weeks. All right? Sign up is available on Facebook, on Meetup, on our website. If you can't find it, give us a call, and we'll make sure that you get the information that you need. 239-574-6463. All right? I think that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.